Because most relationships are about trying to create insurance.
Yes, so it's a security thing.
A security
it's not a love thing.
So what's really, I think it is a love thing because it really hurts when we are left.
Yeah.
It hurts, and it can be really devastating because, especially in the early stages of a relationship, when you've got a lot of chemicals, because Mother Nature's trying to make you pregnant. So for about the first several times, which usually lasts up to about the first 3 months of a relationship, you're like, I've never felt like this before. You're completely dizzy, you've got the baby brain, you can't think about anything else, you're completely just linked with this person. And if that person, like this is why holiday romances are so intense, if this person leaves or ends the relationship while you've got all of those chemicals in your brain, you become an addict because the withdrawal is really hard.
Yeah.
So that's one element of in the early stages. If the early stages have gone through and real love has developed, then the relationship is sustainable and will last. But then if real love has developed, then we start to calculate what will be missing in our lives if that person leaves. So it's the same as we insure our houses, we insure our cars. If this is gone, then, so we try and insure our relationships by making ourselves unleavable, and then the more we try and do that, then the more we're actually pushing the person away. So really the best way to create relationship insurance, in a sense, is to give your greatest gift to the world and not your partner.
Yes.
Because when you give your greatest gift to the world, we automatically love the person who does that and then spend all of our time going, see me, see me, see me.
And that's both sexes, not
both
just
sexes.
the man. It's not just the sort of, the...
I think it's especially true for women, and as a woman, I think it's especially true for women wanting their man to give the greatest gift to the world.
Yes.
And I also think it's especially true, it's less true perhaps, but I don't know because I'm not a man, but from talking and interviewing men, they really do like being adored by women. But a man is looking for all of the polarities of the feminine in his partner. So it's a little bit like the Spice Girls, really. The Spice Girls really had, and they were, polarities of feminine energy. So in a way, you had Baby Spice, who was cute and soft and cuddly, Sporty Spice, who was like one of the lads, and then you had Scary Spice, who was a bit of a dominatrix, Posh Spice, who was the girl who said no, 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 but broke under seduction, and then Ginger Spice was really kind of like, I guess, the maybe like the GQ magazine girl or whatever.
Yeah.
So in a loaded magazine girl, I'd say.
Yes.
Although she stopped being that later on, anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that when a woman puts on a shoe, she changes her vibrational frequency of the feminine. When a woman is screaming at you for being late, she's really attractive. When she's being all coy and shy, women have this polarity that they play, which men are addicted to. And a way in which a man will want to serve his woman and be connected to her is a woman who can be all of those polarities.
Yes.
In any given moment. And then, because he can walk past a girl coming out of a shop with a coffee, and if she just glances at him, it's changed his entire day. A glance from a woman can actually knock a man off his axis.
I'll vouch for that.
It's true. It's so true.
Yeah.
And women don't know that a woman living her greatest gift to the world is to be feminine in all of those polarities.
Yes.
A man giving his gift to the world is about how he serves globally,
his quest,
and his community, his holy grail.
This is the sort of like the Dada thing, which I think is fantastic.
Oh, I love him.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Really,
such wonderful stuff.
Yeah. He was actually a big inspiration for writing the book, for helping me understand the male perspective.
Yes, I saw you included him.
Yes, absolutely.
In the big biography at the back, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's a very good book that I don't know if you have read of his called Intimate Communion, which is The Way of the Superior Man. I think is fantastic. It's the first one I read. But Intimate Communion I thought was fantastic. And he talks about 3 stages, because what I wanted to go on to ask you is, it's related to this, but I'd like to have your view. And that, how do you see the future of relationships? How do you see the future of relationships in view of the, if you like, this new energy vibration that's coming into the world, this new consciousness?
It's an excellent question. That's a really, really good question. Because I actually feel that we're going to get to a point where we have connected sexual partners for bringing up children, and that we can be absolutely monogamous and completely connected to that person. but we don't limit love. It stops being you and me against the world, and it becomes you and me in service. You know, so it becomes that you and me, we have chosen to come together to bring up children. And I certainly feel that I would love to get to a point, now we really have got to a stage where we're losing family. Only in a Western culture, it's not so true all over the world.
Yeah.
But whereas the kids used to be palmed off to grandma, great-grandma, all of these are the next-door neighbours and the community because people were trusted. We don't trust people anymore, so we don't pass our children off to anybody, and then they don't get the same interactions. When we get to a point where we're able to trust people again, I think that will bring children up in communities. Not communities, you know, not those kinds of like, let's go and live on an ashram community type weirdy kind of, I mean, I'm not saying it's definitely weird, but,
I know,
you know, the way that they were in the 60s
Yes.
when people were kind of like, well, whose father is it anyway? You know, and all the families were totally intertwined.
Right.
But I really feel that we will all start taking responsibility for each other's children. Well, I mean, I really feel that one of the problems that we've got at the moment is, you know, if a young person who is going to and from school starts doing something on a train. I remember sitting on a train and these lads were playing push and knocking into this woman, and the woman just said, "Get off me," and overreacted. Then they started taking the mickey out of her. And a South African guy stood up and said, "Hey guys, cut it," you know. And then this guy walks down the carriage, the taller one of the lads, and goes, "You going to stop me?" And the South African guy sat down, and everyone on the train was reading papers, and they went back to pushing the woman. And so I got up, and it's funny, this Cockney accent comes out of nowhere. You know, I don't know where it comes from. It's something like, "You shut up, all right, because I'm la." It's like something turned into Catherine Tate, and it's, you know, it's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not even bothered. And the South African guy got up, and I said, "You know, I'm not even going to shout at you." I said, "I'm shouting at everyone on the train. Because I'm not so upset that you are doing this with this lady. You're out of order, but you're an ignorant guy, and you know no better, but we all know better." And I turned around, and a couple of other people stood up. Some people just looking out the window pretending I wasn't talking, but a few other people. And then as soon as they got off the train, everyone starts talking to me.
Wonderful.
"I'm really glad you did that. Yeah, I should have said something. I felt really..." But we feel so powerless. And I think until we actually get to a point where we start looking after each other's children, you know, not in a creepy way,
Yeah.
but we're going to allow people to believe, and we are abusing them by doing this, to allow them to believe that it's okay to act like this is abusing them. It's not just allowing them to abuse us, it's abusing them. And it's time we stopped. It's time we stopped the abuse. I think it's so important.
Great story. I love that. I really love that.
I'm just very pleased he didn't have a knife. You know?
And brave as well. Yeah.
Well, he said to me, he said, "You're crazy, look at you." And I was like, "You're damn right I'm crazy." But,
Yeah.
it's having small eyes, you see. Small eyes are very scary when you're really, you know. And it's really funny because my handbag was kind of down somewhere over my elbow. And I'm like, "Come on then." Like, oh, really not a good look. Not a good look.
Beautiful.